is everything going? Today we're going to talk about the book primarily, and then afterwards we will then move on to the next step in the next video, which is the book between Arabic and English. Okay, so what we will start with the book is basically the book starts with the title, right? The title, you get it from the first page of the book, right? It's the front cover. You have the title of the book. Okay, sometimes the title has a main title and then a subtitle, right? And then you have the author. Okay, then you have the picture, and then you have a comment or an important aspect of the book or anything else that the book is known. Here, for example, the international bestseller is an international bestseller, so they put it, and they put an important or famous comment from a critical acclaimer or a person who commented, who is very important, or a nice comment about the book, or an important comment about the book. Okay, this is a really important aspect of the book. Obviously, it's like the cover page, the face of the book, the label, and everything you can think about. Okay, the next part is the part where either you have the comments, okay, or it's just a blank page. Here they have different comments or different topics of the value of the book and why it's a bestseller and so on. Okay, and then the next page would usually be about the publisher who published the book. Okay, so you would have the name of the publisher, the location, and the date. It may be that the date and location is not there, but always the name of the publisher is there. Okay, sometimes you would find it interchangeably between the first and second and third page. So maybe you have the name of the publisher, and then the next page you have the date and the location, or vice versa. It depends on whatever the publisher likes to show. Okay, so sometimes you would find the other details in small font on the next page. Okay, why is this important? Because, for example, when you study language, when you study anything in college or in school or as an adult, maybe you want to go back to the same book. Maybe you want the same edition. In this case, the publishing or the publisher is very important, or the edition, because it's on the same page, the same organization, and obviously the same book you're talking about, right? Okay, so in this case, this is what's important. Okay, so here in the next part, you have the content of the book, so the different chapters. If it's a big novel or book, or if it's Encyclopedia Dictionary, obviously it differs, right? So the content here in this case, because it's a big kind of novel that is obviously non-fiction, right? It's based on Robert Fisk's work, and mainly journalistic work in the Middle East. Okay, so obviously it's non-fiction primarily. If it's fiction, it would be different, but here he divided it in different chapters. Okay, and you have you have all what you need to know about the book. Okay, so in this case, you have the acknowledgements, okay, which is very important, okay, and then you have different parts of the book, okay. Here you have the preface. This is all the different chapters. The preface, acknowledgements is the content part. You have the actual content, and then afterwards, in the end, you have, maybe because it's a nonfiction and it's a kind of source that's important for researchers in the Middle East, because it has a lot of different accounts from his journalistic work. So you have different definitions or events or different aspects that are important for a researcher that he provided here, and their page numbers. Obviously, for a different kind of book, you would have maybe not that part in the end. Usually it's Encyclopedia Dictionary or important resource that's non-fiction, that's important. Sometimes fiction do have, right, if they are important. Okay, in the sense of as a source or as a kind of for children, maybe they have a kind of, in the end, characters or events and so on. Okay, if it's a big child book or a big fantasy book or a science fiction book. Okay, so in this case, this is important. And just keep this in mind when you go into any source or book. Okay, the next part is the Arabic book. The Arabic book is the same thing. Okay, as we said before, you have here the difference in direction. So the English book, left, right? Okay, left to right. The Arabic book, okay, is right to left. Okay, so the Arabic book is right to left, and the English book is left to right. Okay, and so in this case, you have a kind of part that that's important is the direction. Okay, so you're not confused. This is a novel. It's an Arabic novel. Okay, and it's very important for you to think about reading it if you know Arabic. Okay, the author is very known in Egypt, Ibrahim Isa, and in the world of Arabic novels. Okay, Maulana, it's a very nice novel. If you can read it, that's great. It starts from right to left. It's also, the Arabic is not that hard. Okay, and it's a very nice book to read if you are, if you read Arabic novels and newspapers and so on. Okay, if you're still in the beginning, hopefully soon, yeah, and we'll talk more about what you can read and see on YouTube afterwards. In this case, you have here, because it's, in the Arabic, usually they have a kind of sticker where which edition it is, okay, which is important because it differs the format and publisher in edition. It's the same as English in publishing and everything. Okay, you have in the first pages the publisher, the name, the date, and so on. Here also, because the novel, he has for who it is for, which is like the in English. Okay, because this is fiction. Okay, so it's realistic fiction. Okay, it's basically fiction, but based on things that happen in the world. Okay, so here in the back, you have usually in Arabic a kind of summary. The summary is really short. Usually they put something that catches your attention, or something that that is very interesting, famous from the book, and so on. Okay, it's in the back, so it's an excerpt from the book or a summary of the book. Okay, sometimes it's something interesting, an interesting question, what do you think will happen, and so on. Okay, and so in this case, you'll find that here the Arabic is modern standard Arabic, as we said, and it's very simple and nice. Okay, so always remember these small tips in any Arabic or English book. If you're a student and you are studying from an Arabic English book, we'll talk about in the next video. Okay, but in this one, it's just important for you as a reader to know the difference. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to add, please do, and share and subscribe this link. Just a last note, you have here, for example, another sticker. Usually on in the Arabic novels, different than English, you usually have it written or the famous comments. Arabic is very rare. Usually they have stickers in which kind of book fair or a prize the book got, okay, and gained. Always in famous novels like this one, you have edition, 6th edition, 5th edition, 4th edition. It's really important. Okay, so so in this case, you have a picture of the publishing company. Okay, usually you do or not, it's not necessary, but usually the publishing company is very important in Arabic novels. You have it in the beginning. Okay, the date and location in Arabic novels is not that important usually. Sometimes no, it's in the end, sometimes, but usually the publishing company is no. Okay, because the edition differs according to the publishing company, and there are differences in the copies. Okay, so just take note of that. If you have any questions, please do. Okay, another thing that's nice about Arabic books, and that's the last note we have before we leave, is that it shows you what kind of book it is. Is it a poetry? Is it a novel? Here it's Ruwaya, which means novel. Okay, Shar means poetry, and so on. So if it's fiction, if it's non-fiction, if it's a kind of source, and so on. Okay, if you have any other comment or question, please add it here. And thank you for watching this video. Please share and subscribe. Have a great day. Bye.